foot 9 inch, 175-pound senior wearing number 26. And Coach Larry Frost had a lot of good things to say about his receivers. Of course, you've got to have good receivers to complement a quarterback like Scott Frost. We're ready for the opening kickoff as Geneva will kick it away from the south to the north. It'll be Joe Horst standing on his own 5-yard line to receive the kick for the Eagles. Horst will take it on the 10. A wedge set up in the middle for the Eagles. Horst to the right side, knocked down at about the 26-yard line by a couple of Geneva defenders. It was Andy Lucas and Ted Stratman making the tackle for Geneva, the first two down there to meet Horst as he picks up relatively good yardage out to the 26-yard line. That's where Wood River will take over 1st and 10 as we've just begun play here from Geneva, Nebraska, round 2 of the Class C1 State High School Football Playoffs. Geneva and Wood River, a good one, folks. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters with you. Sit back and enjoy some good high school football on the mix. Scott Frost, the All-Stater, to his left. He throws out in the flat. He's got a man out there, out to about the 37 or 8-yard line. The pass is complete to Matt Gideon, the split end, a 5 foot 9 inch, 175-pound senior. And Marty, Wood River starts out quickly going through the air.
Really no surprise when you've got somebody at the helm like that. Why not? It's going to be very important for Geneva to get a little bit of a pass rush on big Scott Frost. Then they'll be able to work a little bit harder on defense.
First down right off the bat. 1st and 10 for Wood River from their own 38-yard line. The handoff up the middle, short yardage as Geneva stacks it up nicely. But the ball carrier, Joe Horst, pulls his way ahead for a couple of tough yards. He gets across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Big Joe Horst, those 230 pounds on that 6 foot 2 inch frame, tackled by Dan Tureen from his defensive linebacker position. Pickup of about 5. We'll give him a 2nd down and 5. Wood River with the ball on their own 43-yard line. Scott Frost, hands on the center. The pitch is off the right side to Matt Gall. Gall off the right side, tackled down at about the 47-yard line. Close to the first down. I don't think he got enough. He had to get to the 48. A nice tackle that time by Andy Lucas and Jason Rung also in there on the stop for Geneva. That'll bring up a 3rd and short, and the officials are going to stop and measure. He got close, but I don't think he got it, Marty.
Good job of pursuing the ball right there. It looked like a big hole over the right side. All of a sudden, a couple of Geneva Wildcats put the beat on him, knocked him down for a short gain of about 3 or 4.
Chain gang comes onto the field. Wood River with a couple of nice plays. They open up with a passing play. I think everybody pretty much expected that. Then a couple of tough runs. And the good matchup tonight is going to be on the line of scrimmage. Both teams with some good size on that line of scrimmage.
I think he's just a little short.
It'll bring up a 3rd down and less than a yard for Wood River. They have the ball on their own 47.5-yard line. They have to get to the 48. Geneva trying to play him strong here in this opening quarter. No score from Geneva, Nebraska. 10:41 left to play in the first quarter. We've just begun play in Geneva, Class C1's round number 2 of the State High School Football Playoffs. Geneva and Wood River. Wood River opens up with a pass for a 1st down. 2 runs. They've got 3rd and short from their own 47.5-yard line.
I hate to coin a phrase, but I'm going to do it anyway. What a gorgeous night for high school football.
Nice
Beautiful.
Night. Not too cold, not too warm, just perfect. Little moisture in the air. 3rd and short for the Wood River Eagles. Frost turns, hands off to his big fullback. Takes it himself. He's to the left side of the line. He's to the 45 of Geneva, to the 40, to the 35, to 30. He could go all the way down to about the 20-yard line, knocked out of bounds. Finally goes Scott Frost. He pulled the ball out from his fullback's gut, took it himself off the left side, and rambled all the way down to about the 20-yard line. He's inside the 20. They're going to mark him out of bounds. Let's call it the 11-yard line, Marty, as he rambled way down there, deep in Geneva territory. 41-yard pickup for Scott Frost. He fooled me on that play, pulled the ball out of his fullback's gut, took it off the left side, rambled 41 yards. 1st down for Wood River. Early in this game, no score from Geneva, Nebraska. Wood River and Geneva. It's Wood River with the ball on the Geneva 12-yard line. Scott Frost rolling to his right. Going to be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. A sack by Geneva. Nice defensive play by Justin Opfer. Justin Opfer, the first man in there to sack Scott Frost. And that's the way to stop any kind of a surge by those Wood River Eagles. Jamie Opfer also in there on the stop for Geneva. They dropped him for about a 6 or 7 yard loss. Call it a 2nd down and 16. The ball now spotted on the 19-yard line, 19.5-yard line of Geneva. The Eagles with a 2nd down and long. Frost, hands under center. Calling out audible at the line of scrimmage. Geneva jumps off sides, and we're going to have a 5-yard penalty as Scott Frost, on a long count at the line of scrimmage, draws a couple of Geneva players off sides.
Well, I'll tell you what, Geneva was obviously offsides, but Dan Turin said, hey, I saw somebody from Wood River make a movement. We'll see. It'll depend on what the officials saw.
Official word, dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense, so Geneva broke the plane first. It'll be 5 yards, negating that nice defensive play on first down. Wood River does lose a down, though, however. That'll bring up a second down and just over 10 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 11. The ball spotted on the 13-yard line of Geneva. Wood River following the 41-yard run by Scott Frost with a 2nd down and 11 from the Geneva 13-yard line. Frost brings his team out of the huddle. He's got Dahl and Horst in the backfield. On the option play to the left side, Frost is going to keep it. He's across the 10 to the 5. He's going to get in there. Touchdown, Wood River. Scott Frost on some good running gets in there untouched. The first score goes to Wood River. They lead it 6-0 on the 13-yard touchdown run by young Scott Frost.
I'll tell you what, he's got 3 carries for 44 yards. Scott Frost made it happen. Somebody from Geneva is going to have to be assigned big number 7, knock him down every play if they want to stay in this ballgame.
We talked about how much he can throw the ball, how well he can throw the ball, but Scott Frost can also run it, as we've seen so far in the game. He's got some good speed, Marty.
Yes, he does, and I'll tell you what, it's up to that guy that's out there, probably a cornerback or an outside linebacker that's assigned the quarterback. Got to knock him down every play, especially on that option.
Flag on the extra point attempt. Let's see what the call is. Somebody not set at the line of scrimmage, a dead ball foul. False start on Wood River. That'll make it just a little bit longer on the extra point attempt as Brandon Bailey comes in, the 5'10", 180-pound senior. He plays the split end position. He'll kick the extra points tonight for Wood River. They lead it 6-0 with 9:26 left to play in the opening quarter behind Scott Frost on a 13-yard quarterback keeper. He got it in there for the touchdown. Wood River now leads it 6-0 with 9:26 left to play in the opening period. Frost in there to hold the extra point attempt. It'll be Brandon Bailey. Now Frost is going to keep it himself. Frost rambling out there. Andy Lucas giving chase. Frost at his own 40-yard line heaves it into the end zone, and it's caught for the extra point. And Scott Frost heaved that thing a mile to get it into the end zone. I believe it was a broken attempt at the extra point. Frost couldn't quite handle the snap, picked it up. It was a broken play, I believe, Marty.
Yeah, it was. It was a high snap. You said it. Scott Frost made something out of nothing. That's why he's going to be a great one.
He found Pat Bittner in the end zone. Bittner on the special teams was all alone in the end zone, and Frost just heaved that thing a quarter of a mile to Bittner standing all alone in the end zone. A very long and drawn-out process to get 2 points, but nonetheless, Wood River now jumps out to an 8-0 lead with 9:26 left to play in the opening period of this Class C1, Round 2 of the state high school football playoffs game. And Marty, we talked about how Wood River can really jump out quickly. They showed it right there on a couple of quick plays from Scott Frost to open this game.
You mentioned that on the offset, but very important for Geneva to pick up at least a couple of first downs. They don't have to score right away here. You said Geneva's a very, very patient offensive football team, but they've got to make something happen, at least keep that ball on the offensive side for a couple of minutes, let the defense rest, because they're going to be in for a busy night.
The Eagles jump out early, 8-0 your score from Geneva, Nebraska, as the Eagles will kick it off. It'll be Ted Stratman, and it'll be Todd Nichols taking it, and he passes it on the flea flicker to Dan Tureen. Can't find the handle. A fumble on the play. Let's see who got it. Wood River has it. Wood River recovers the ball at the 10-yard line of Geneva. What a mistake as Nichols received the kickoff, stopped to pass it across the field to Dan Tureen. Tureen couldn't quite find the handle. The ball squirted loose, and Wood River all over that one. They recover it. They're going to spot the ball on the 13-yard line, so a 1st and 10 for Wood River on the Geneva 13. Wow, what a play, Marty.
27, Troy Harnish saw the football, laid on the turf, gobbled it up, said thank you very much, but I'll tell you what, huge mistake for the Geneva Wildcats. Hey, they're still in this ball game. This thing ain't over, 8-0. We still got a lot of football. I don't know if they're really ready to pull out all the stops like that.
We'll take a timeout as there's one on the field. 9:20 left to play in the first quarter. Wood River leads it 8-0 over Geneva. On the mix, 104.9 FM KTMX, York, Nebraska. Wood River takes over on the 13-yard line of Geneva following the missed flea flicker attempt. for the Wildcats on that ensuing kickoff after the Scott Frost touchdown run. Frost for Wood River takes it himself in the pocket. He's going to run out of the pocket. He's to the 10, to the 5. He's going to get in there for another touchdown. Scott Frost with 2 quick touchdowns, both of them from 13 yards. That time he wanted to pass the ball, was flushed out of the pocket and ran it in untouched.
Just not very good pursuit at all by the Geneva Wildcats defense. They're a much better defensive ball team than we've seen so far tonight. They're going to have to suck it up and play some football here pretty soon, or this could get ugly.
Frost playing head and shoulders above any quarterback we've seen come into Geneva this year. Scores on 2 13-yard touchdown runs. The score now 14-0 as Wood River will go for the extra point attempt. Once again, Brandon Bailey, the 5'10", 180-pound senior, comes in to kick it. Frost will hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 15-0 your score with 9:11 left to play in the first quarter. Wood River leads it over Geneva. Back in 30 seconds. Nebraska, Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters with high school football on the mix. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the opening period. Wood River with a 15-0 lead following 2 13-yard touchdown runs from Scott Frost. The kick from Geneva taken by Todd Nichols at his own 15-yard line. He's got a seam. He's across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Goes Todd Nichols on a nice return. Let's see if Geneva can get something going here as they trail at 15-0 with 9:05 left to play in the opening period.
Well, I'll tell you what, you said it a week ago. North Platte St. Pat's jumped all over Geneva, 14-zip before Geneva even opened their eyes. Same thing could happen tonight. Let's see.
Good point, Marty. Geneva, traditionally a slow starting team. Let's see if they can get something offensively going. They haven't even run an offensive play this far into the game. Dan Bryan leads his team out of the huddle. Nichols at the tight end position. Meager split wide to the right. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Tureen at the wingback position. The handoff goes to Tureen. Tureen running the left side, gets a couple of yards across the 35 to the 36. Goes Dan Tureen. The ball was spotted on the 34-yard line on a 1st and 10. Tureen moves the ball across the 35. We'll call it the 36-yard line. Call it a 2nd down and 8 for Geneva. As John Eberly now brings the play into the game for head coach Danny Malone. 2nd down 8, the Wildcats with the ball on their own 36-yard line. Eberly into the game, splits wide to the left. Bates and Fiala in the backfield. Dan Bryan barking out the count. Bates moves over to the split back position. Bryan turns, gives it off to Fiala up the middle. Nothing much doing there as Fiala gets across the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Not much of a gain on that play as the Wood River defensive front really shuts them down.
Well, the Wildcats aren't used to playing a team their own size. The holes are there. So far, I've seen a couple of big holes there. The backs are going to have to get there quicker.
A 3rd down and 8. No gain on the play. Geneva, 3rd and 8 with the ball on their own 36-yard line. They trail at 15-0 with 7:44 left to play in the first quarter. Dan Bryan with hands under center. Turns, he wants to throw. He's got some time. He's got a man. He's got Dan Tureen. Overthrown, incomplete. Dan Tureen was out there at the 45-yard line of the Eagles. The ball just out of the reach of Tureen, and that brings up a 4th down and long. Geneva will have to kick it away.
Look for the Wildcats to go back to that thing because Tureen was wide open. He split the 2 defenders. You said it. That pass was just off his fingertips. We'll see it again tonight, I guarantee.
He played well at the wingback position, scoring on a 65-yard touchdown run. He's in there again this week. Incomplete pass. Geneva will have to kick it away. Here's the kick from Andy Lucas, taken by the Wood River receiver at the 36-yard line where he steps out of bounds. And that's where Wood River will take over 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. They lead it 15-0 with 7:29 left to play in the opening period. Let's see if Geneva's defense now, Marty Winters, can stiffen up and stop this potent offensive attack from the Eagles.
Huge series for the Geneva Wildcat defense right here. They've got to stop them, get the ball back to their offense. The offense can make things happen. We've seen it all season long. It don't matter who they play. It seems like they always make something happen. So the defense has got to come to the forefront right now.
Matt Gideon splits wide to the left, 1st and 10 for Wood River. Scott Frost hands off to his first man through there. Mike Gall, the fullback, carries for about 3 or 4 tough yards. They're going to give him about 4 as he gets to the 40-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 for Wood River. And they're really blowing Geneva off the ball right now at this point in the game, Marty.
That's going to be an interesting battle. We'll watch it all night long for you. The Geneva front 5 and the Wood River front 5. It's going to be fun.
Joe Horst out of the game. Troy Harnish replaces him at halfback. Harnish and Gall in the backfield. Flags fly everywhere. Let's see what the call is. Maybe somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty, a dead ball foul. False start on Wood River. That'll move them back 5 yards, bringing up a 2nd down and 11. So Wood River killing themselves right now with penalties.
You know what the Geneva defense did right there? They hopped around, jumped around, kind of confused Frost and the Wood River Eagles. I tell you what, that's what they're going to have to do. They looked really good right there. Worked.
Maybe play that mental game. You're not going to mess this kid up physically. Maybe you can play with his mind a little bit. 6:50 left to play in the first quarter, 15-0. Wood River leads it. They have the ball, a 2nd down and 11 from their own 35-yard line. Frost with the handoff up the middle, a couple of tough yards. It was Horst, the fullback, or the halfback rather, picking up some good yardage. Check that number. That's Troy Harnish. Troy Harnish in there for Horst, picking up a couple of yards. Tackled by Justin Opfer. Opfer, the first man in there to make the stop. Give Harnish about 5 yards on the pickup, bringing up a 3rd down and 6 now. 3rd and 6 for Wood River. They have the ball on their own 40-yard line. Scott Frost brings his team out of the huddle. He's got Gall in the backfield, along with Codner and Horst. Geneva jumping around. Frost rolling to his left. He's got a man out there. Incomplete. Incomplete pass intended for Matt Gideon off his fingertips, and Wood River will have to kick it away on a 4th and 6. Geneva has held.
Great defensive series there by the Geneva Wildcats. I guess the main thing, hey, they didn't do anything super. They stopped Wood River. Mentally, that's going to do great things for the Geneva Wildcat defense.
And Geneva, a team that will continually get better as the game goes on. They trail at 15-0. They can hold Wood River to only 15 points in the first half. They'll be looking good in the second half. But we've got a lot of football left to play in the first half. 6:05 left to play in the first quarter. Wood River leads at 15-0. They kick it away on 4th and 6. A penalty flag now flies before the play gets off. The penalty from the umpire and a false start. Somebody moving on that offensive line for Wood River, taking back 5 more yards. It'll be a 4th and 11 as they get prepared to kick it away. Number 58, Jared Lambrecht, the center.
Tell you what he was doing. Yeah, he did. He was moving the football, trying to draw the Wildcat defense off sides. I was a center in high school myself. Tried it, got nailed for it a couple of times. That's exactly what's going to happen. Huge break for the Wildcats. They should get this thing back in pretty good field position.
4th and 11, Wood River to kick it away. Scott Frost, the all-everything, back to kick it away for Wood River, standing on his own 26-yard line. Ted Stratman and James Bates back to receive for the Wildcats. The ball going to Stratman. He takes it on his own 32-yard line. Going to his left, gets knocked down at the 35. That's all he'll get. A nice defensive play that time by Pat Bittner, the man who caught that 2-point conversion for the Eagles. But Geneva will take over 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, trailing at 15-0 with 6 minutes left to play in the opening period. This, the Class C1 State High School Football Championship, not championship, I'm getting ahead of myself. Round number 2, game between the Wood River Eagles and the Geneva Wildcats here in Geneva, Nebraska. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters, good to have you with us as we bring you high school football on the mix. Dan Bryan brings his team out of the huddle. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. The inside handoff. Fumble, Dan Green, and a fumble on the play. Wood River has it. 2 turnovers early in this game. That's going to kill you, Marty.
I tell you what, it was a pretty blocked play. He had a big hole. Nice-looking play that I believe it was the wingback around, the wingback reverse, I believe you would call it. Had a big hole right up the gut, but somebody got a piece of the football.
I'm not sure if that was a clean handoff, as it was Jared Polk, number 67, falling on the ball for Wood River. And you can't turn the ball over to these tough Eagles, at least not inside your own territory, as Wood River takes over 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line of Geneva. Scott Frost, back to pass, going to his left, being chased, steps out of the rush, passes the ball downfield, complete to the 25-yard line, as big Joe Horst, the 230-pound running back, out of the backfield, picks up the 1st down on the pass completion from Scott Frost, and Frost was in trouble in the offensive backfield, eluded the tackler, and made a nice strike to Horst.
I tell you what, Justin Opfer on the blitz, got a piece of him, but Frost is so strong he got away, and Opfer really did put some pressure on him. That's what they're going to have to do if they want to beat this Eagle team tonight. 1st and 10 for the Eagles on the 25 of Geneva. Fumble on the play. Geneva has it. Yes. Geneva has it. Randy Messman wisely falls on that ball. The 200-pound junior defensive tackle, Scott Frost, running the option, dropped the ball. I don't believe anybody hit him. I think he just dropped the ball, and Randy Messman was there for Geneva to pick the ball up. Geneva's got the ball back, a little bit of momentum. They take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Call it the 27. Defense has done a whale of a job so far. Let's just see if the offense can get a couple of 1st downs. Let that defense rest a while.
4:48 left in the first quarter. Geneva trails it 15-0 as Dan Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. James Bates and Fiala in the backfield. Dan Shireen splits wide to the left. Bryant on the handoff to Fiala. Nothing doing as he's knocked down immediately. The handoff, and Fiala goes down immediately at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for Geneva, and really not too much success up the middle for the Wildcats.
Not yet. They've rushed the football 5 times for 4 yards. So it'll come. Give it some time.
John Eberle, the 160-pound senior, brings the play in. Doug Biegert sits out for Coach Danny Malone. Eberle will split wide to the left. Dan Bryant bringing his team out of the huddle. Tureen at the wingback position once again. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Dan Bryant barking out the count. 2nd down 10. The pitch is off to Bates off the left side. Met immediately and knocked down by about 3 or 4 Wood River defenders. James Bates, nothing doing off the left side as Wood River really shooting through the gaps and making the play. I believe he lost a couple on the play. J.D. Henderson from his linebacker position, the first man to meet Bates behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1, bringing up a 3rd down and 11 for Geneva. Let's see if they go to the air. Dan Bryant can really air it out, Marty.
Jim, remember what I said about those holes being there? The back's just going to have to get there a little bit quicker. Right there, the hole was there. They picked up a couple, but that was all.
Geneva with a 3rd down and 11 from their own 25-yard line. Bryant back to pass. He's got a man out there. It's Biegert. Biegert's got it at the 40 to the 41-yard line. First down, Geneva, on a nice passing strike from Dan Bryant to Doug Biegert. You couldn't have thrown it any better.
Huge offensive play right there. You want to talk about confidence. That'll give you confidence offensively. Moves the sticks. You got a fresh 3 downs. Now Geneva's playing some Wildcat football.
The ball at the 41 of Geneva. Dan Bryant with some good poise in the backfield as he was being pressured, stayed in the pocket, aired it out to Doug Biegert off the left side. Biegert with some nice hands. He was covered nicely, picks up the first down. Geneva driving now, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Bates in motion to the left. Here's the quick handoff to Fiala. He's across the 45 and knocked down there goes Lance Fiala on a very quick developing play. Fiala takes the inside handoff and picks up 5 very quick yards. They're going to say he was knocked down at the 44-yard line, give him only about 3.5, 4 yards on the carry. We'll call it a 2nd and 6 for Geneva. But that time the hole was definitely there, Marty.
I tell you what, very, very happy that Coach Malone doesn't go away from that running game. That's their bread and butter.
And that pass really opened things up for Fiala as he picks up 4 yards, 2nd and 6. The ball spotted just inside the 45 of Geneva. Bryant with hands under center, turns, gives off to the second man, Bates to the 49, to the 50-yard line goes James Bates right at midfield. Nice play short of the first down, but once again the hole was there, and now Geneva with a spark on offense.
They're running it right at the Wood River Eagle front 5, and I'll tell you what, the Wildcat front 5 opening up some huge holes. The backs are just getting right through those holes, scooting up there for 5-6 yards a crack. Coach Malone's going to be real happy if they can march this thing right down the field 5-6 yards a crack. There's no hurry.
Geneva has to get the ball to the 49 of Wood River. They have it just inside the 50-yard line. Dan Bryant turns, gives it off to Fiala. He's got the first down to about the 46-yard line of Wood River. Goes big Lance Fiala. Fiala, he's only a sophomore. He goes 210 pounds at that fullback position. He picks up first down yardage, 1st and 10 Geneva from the 46.5-yard line of Wood River.
Right now the defensive backs of the Eagles making the tackles, and you've got a big boy like Lance Fiala coming right at you. It's going to start to hurt later on in the ball game. Lance Fiala, 4 carries, 11 yards on the evening.
Following big Chad Boyce, Mike Scriven and Dan Shiley on the inside of that offensive line for Geneva. Lance Fiala with the first down. 1st and 10 Geneva. Dan Bryant back to pass. He's got Biegert in the flat. Bigert's got it at about the 40-yard line. Knocked out of bounds. Inside the 40, call it the 37-yard line. Doug Biegert, and on the out pattern, that's the second time we've seen that. Doug Biegert running the out pattern. Dan Bryant with a perfect strike. And Marty, I tell you what, Coach Danny Malone said that Dan Bryant was really going to have to step up and play well in this game if his team expected to win tonight.
So far, so good. 2 out of 3, 24 yards, and he's running that offense to a T.
Spot him out of bounds at the 39-yard line, a 2nd and 4 for Geneva. Driving now, late in this first quarter, 1:17 left to play in the first. Geneva trails at 15-0 after 2 quick touchdown runs by Scott Frost from Wood River. Dan Bryant, hands under center, turns, gives it off to Bates. Tough yardage up the middle, knocked back a couple of yards, but he got forward momentum to just inside the 39. Let's see where they spot him. I thought he got to about the 38. The referees indecisive on the spot.
Horrible spot.
He had good forward momentum. I thought he was to the 38-yard line. They're going to spot him way back, just inside the 40. I don't agree with that at all, Marty.
Well, sure, he was thrown to the turf at the 40, but you gotta see where the nose of the football was. I totally disagree with that spot. Horrible spot.
We'll call it a third down and about 3.5, 4 yards to go for the first. Geneva with the ball just inside the 40-yard line. The handoff goes to Fiala. Fiala with some tough running. He's got close to the first down yardage. Down close to the 35 goes big Lance Fiala. He's making things happen, Mark.
I tell you what, it'll depend on the spot once again, but they better give him the first down. That was all Lance Fiala. He got a little bit of a crack and then made it happen as he got all the way down to the 35-yard line.
I thought he was on the 35 when he bounced up. But they're going to spot it way back outside of the 36-yard line. Now the chains come on official timeout. 32 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Wood River leads this game 15-0. Here's the spot and the set of the chains. It's going to be close as they mark them down. And it's just shy by about 3 inches. And I don't agree with both of those spots, Marty. But nonetheless, Geneva with a tough decision to make here. Fourth and very, very short. Coach Danny Malone sends the play in with Doug Biegert, the split end. 15-0. Wood River leading it with 32 seconds left to play in the first quarter. High school football on the mix. 104.9 FM, KTMX, York, Nebraska. Geneva comes out of the huddle. Fourth and very, very, very short. Bryant with Bates and Fiala and Tureen all in the backfield. The handoff goes to Fiala. He's got the first down this time. Across the 35 to the 34 or 33-yard line goes big Lance Fiala once again. What a work, Harris.
Well, I'll tell you what, it'll depend on the spot. They might spot it back to the 35. We'll have to see. Finally, they give him the first down. I thought they had the first down like 3 or 4 different times, but yeah, the Wildcats had to earn it the hard way, and the Wildcats, that offensive front five, making things happen, courtesy Lance Fiala. They're helping him down the field. Lance Fiala busting through there, making it hurt when the Wood River Eagles tackle him. Takes 3 or 4 people to bring this guy down. That's going to play a big role towards the end of the ballgame.
Ball control offense was the key to this game, according to Danny Malone. As time expires in the first period, Wood River leads it 15-0 at the end of one, but Geneva on a roll right now. They've driven the ball from their own 6. Leads it 15-0 behind 2 very quick scores. Scott Frost ran the ball in from 13 yards out both times. A 2-point conversion after the first one and a kick after the second one. 15-0 your score. Wood River leads it, but Geneva really started to roll with about 5 minutes left in that opening period. They started to drive the ball from deep in their own territory. They have the ball now on the 34-yard line of Wood River after the first down carry by Lance Fiala. The Wildcats have it, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of the Eagles. Dan Bryant brings his team out of the huddle to start period number 2. Biegert splits wide to the right. Bryant with the handoff to Bates off the left side. A couple of yards, knocked down at about the 32-yard line. James Bates with some quick yards, knocked down by the linebacker, number 33, Mike Gall, the 180-pound senior. He plays fullback for the Eagles, and he knocked Bates down. They're going to spot the ball once again very unforgivingly as they spot it at about the 33-yard line. Pickup of just 1 for James Bates. A 2nd down and 9 now for the Wildcats. Biegert once again splits wide to the right. Ted Stratman now in at the wingback position. Fiala and Bates in the backfield behind Dan Bryant. Bryant with hands on our big Chad Boyce. Wants to throw. He's got some time. Rolling to his right. Here's the pass to Ted Stratman. He's got it! The ball caught at about the 9-yard line by Ted Stratman. Wow, what a catch, Marty!
That was all pro, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you were here. It was pretty. Doesn't get any better than that. But I'll tell you what, the quarterback, Dan Bryan, delivered the strike. He just put it over the outstretched arms of the DB back there, put it right where it had to be. Huge play for the Wildcats. They're on a roll.
And I hope Claudia Sangster of the York News-Times caught that one on film, because that was a beautiful diving catch by Ted Stratman at the 9-yard line. Geneva on a roll. 11:08 left to play in the first half. They trail it 15-0. 1st and goal to go from the 9-yard line of the Wildcats. Of the Eagles, rather. Bryant turns, hands off to Fiala inside, or Tureen, rather. Tureen down close to the goal line. Let's see where they spot him. Dan Tureen from that wingback position took the inside handoff and barreled down to about the 3-yard line. A 2nd and goal now for the Wildcats from the 3-yard line of the Eagles. Geneva has found something wrong with that defense of the Eagles, and they're exploiting it nicely.
They're just playing Geneva Wildcat football, and this is why this Coach Malone Wildcat squad is 9-1 in the season and playing in the playoffs right now. They could pull off the upset.
Ryan brings his team out of the huddle. 2nd and goal from the 3. barking out the count, hands under big Chad Boyce. The turn, the give is off to James Bates off the right side. Breaks the tackle at the one. He's in there for the touchdown. Woo! James Bates makes it happen. He breaks the tackle at the 1-yard line and pulls his way in there. Geneva on the board, trailing at 15-6 with 10-13 left to play in the opening half. Wow, Marty.
I tell you, this is the first time I've gotten to see the Geneva Wildcats play football. You want to talk power football? That's exactly why the Wildcats are right back in this thing.
10-13 left to play in the opening half. 15-6, Geneva trails it following the 3-yard touchdown run by James Bates. Bates now in the hold on the extra point attempt. Flag on the play. I believe there was some movement in that offensive line for the Wildcats. Let's see what the official call is. A dead ball foul, false start on the Wildcats. That moves it back 5 yards. We saw that happen, Marty, in the opening extra point attempt for Wood River. And they scored 2 points after that.
Yeah, a big break for Wood River on this one, so that all of a sudden that extra point turns into a pretty long field goal in high school. Relatively clean ball game so far. Geneva whistled for 2 for 10 yards. Wood River, same thing, 2 penalties, 10 yards.
Jared Stockwell in for the extra point attempt. He goes 185 pounds. He's a sophomore. Bates to hold. The ball will be spotted on the 15-yard line, making it a 25-yard extra point attempt for the young sophomore Stockwell. Here's the snap. The kick is up. It looks long enough, and it's good. Jared Stockwell with the 25-yard extra point. Geneva trails at 15-7, 10-13. Welcome back to Geneva, Nebraska High School football on the mix. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters, good to have you here in Geneva, Nebraska. Following the touchdown run by James Bates, Geneva trails it now 15-7 with 10-13 left to play in the first half. The kickoff from Stockwell is taken by Horst on his own 15-yard line. Breaks the tackle out to the 35, the 40. Breaks another tackle out to the 50 and knocked down finally by Dan Tureen at the 49-yard line of Geneva. But huge Joe Horst goes 230 pounds, and what an appropriate name for Joe Horst. He is a horse as he rambles through the kickoff coverage team of Geneva and gets the ball out to the 49-yard line of the Wildcats, where Wood River will take over 1st and 10. Wow, what a run by Horst.
Dan Tureen saved the touchdown. Let's see if the defense can do what they've done the last couple of possessions.
49-yard line of Geneva. Scott Frost takes over. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, pitches it, and at the last second, Horst has got it. He's going to be corralled behind the 45-yard line of Wood River, and a flag, a very late flag from the line judge down here. Let's see what it is. I don't know what he saw. He saw something funny, and they're going to call it against Wood River, I believe, as Geneva is celebrating. I think Scott Frost said something he wasn't supposed to, as he was being knocked down at the last second, pitched the ball away to his running back Horst, and Horst was knocked down immediately. I believe it was the Apfer brothers once again on defense, and they're going to call a clip, a very late clipping call. And was that on Frost, Marty?
I'm not sure. All I am sure of is, wow, what pursuit. You want to talk pursuit at the high school level? I couldn't tell you who made the tackle. There was 17 or 18 purple jerseys over there. Can they do that?
2 of them were number 40 and number 41, Justin and Jamie Apfer, the Apfer brothers, in there. A nice job as they had Scott Frost corralled at his own 40-yard line. He pitched the ball away. They got Horst after he received the pitch down at about the 40, and the clip was called at about the 45-yard line. So the 15-yard penalty marks them back to the 30-yard line. Wood River with 2nd down and miles to go.
You were right. They called the clip on Scotty Frost.
Checking 1st down following the penalty. My fault. 1st down. And about 32 to go as Frost brings his team out of the huddle. Frost wants to go up top. Doesn't have anybody down there. Being sacked, and he gets away from the tackler, gets a couple of yards, but not much for Scott Frost, as it was big Randy Messman, the first one in there, that messed him up. And Scott Frost with nobody downfield to throw it to. Nice defensive coverage by the Geneva Wildcats.
Credit that sack to the DBs. You said it. Nobody to throw it to for big Scotty Frost. You know, he had 4 carries, 59 yards in the first quarter. He has 7 carries, 4 yards here since then.
Geneva really stiffened things up. 2nd down and 27 after the 5 or 6 yard gain by Scott Frost. The ball spotted inside the 35 of Wood River, and Geneva jumped once again. Scott Frost must have a good ability to bark out those counts in a way that draws those Geneva defenders off sides. Dead ball encroachment is the call against Geneva, so that's 5 more yards. that Wood River will pick up quickly. Second down at 22, as Todd Nichols from his defensive end position was the man who jumped into that neutral zone, and he gets flagged for the encroachment call. Second and 22. Still a long ways to go, but you can't give up those cheap yards to the Wood River Eagles.
As a coach, you can't be too upset about that. That's just an aggressive penalty right there.
So we've got second down, 22. The ball spotted at the 39-yard line of Wood River. Another flag before the play coming from the line judge. He saw something that wasn't quite right in the line of scrimmage. Dead ball foul once again. Encroachment, this time against Wood River. So take away that 5-yard penalty. Wood River's right back where they started that second down. Second and 27 once again.
All that does is keep us on the air a little bit longer.
So an exchange of encroachment penalties. Wood River, second and 27. The ball now spotted on the 34-yard line of the Eagles. 8:26 left to play in the first half. 15-7, Wood River leads it from Geneva, Nebraska. Frost drops back on the option play. Rolling to his left. He's going to be knocked down. Dan Tureen, the first man to hit him, and then the rest of the Geneva defense right there as Doug Biegert and company also come in there and knock Scott Frost down on the option play to the left. And really, there's nothing there. All the holes are being filled now by the Geneva Wildcat defense.
You can just see the Wildcat D out there, more and more confidence every single play of this ball game. They're the key. They are the key to a Geneva win tonight.
A gain of 2, third down, 25. The ball on the 36 of Wood River. They have the ball. They have a lead, 15-7. 7:40 left to play in the first half. Frost, hands under center, drops straight back to pass. A big drop back and screen play. He's got Gall out there. Gall at the 40, the 45 across midfield and dragged out of bounds. I believe he's going to be short of the first down. He was knocked out at about the 47-yard line. Now they're going to say he was at the 46-yard line. Well short of the first down, bringing up a fourth and about 8 to go for the Wood River Eagles. I believe they'll have to kick it away as the punting team comes onto the field for Larry Frost's Eagles. 7:27 left to play in the first half. Wood River leads it by a score of 15-7 over Geneva. But Geneva's defense holds once again. It'll be Scott Frost back to kick it away on a 4th and 8. He's standing on his own 41-yard line. He'll kick it away to either Ted Stratman or James Bates standing on their own 13-yard line. Now Frost is going to throw it on the fake. He's got a man. Complete first down for Wood River as he found Pat Bittner once again. Pat Bittner streaking down the middle of the field. Frost on the fake punt. Throws the ball to Bittner, complete. The ball now spotted on the 27-yard line of Geneva, and Geneva got caught sleeping.
Just a big league throw right there by the big guy. I tell you, Scott Frost could not have delivered a better strike right down the middle of the football field. You called it, Jim. Just a great-looking fake punt.
Ted Stratman hit him hard, but not until Bittner picked up the first down. 1st and 10, Wood River now. Handoff inside to Gall. Not much doing there as James Bates and Todd Nichols combined to stop him after a gain of about 1.5, bringing up a second down and long for Wood River. And wow, what a threat Scott Frost is to have back there. He throws, he punts, he runs, he does everything for this Wood River team.
So far, he has been Wood River. He has about 67 yards rushing and about 49 yards passing. So as Scott Frost goes, so does Wood River.
Frost on the option play to the left side, cuts up inside, gets a couple of yards still on his feet. Inside the 20 goes Scott Frost. They're going to mark him down right at the 20, a pickup of a couple, bringing up a third down and short. Third and about 3 to go for the Wood River Eagles. Scott Frost running the option to the left side, took it himself and picked up a couple of yards, give him 5 on the carry. 3rd and 3 now. Geneva has it, where they have an 8-point lead with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the first half. Frost brings his team out of the huddle. The ball just spotted on the 20-yard line of Geneva. Frost calling out the count. Mike Gall in motion to his right. The handoff inside to Horst. Horst with enough for the first down. First down, Wood River, as he bowls his way ahead to the 15-yard line. Joe Horst stands 6 foot 2 inches tall. He weighs 230 pounds, and he is the halfback, not the fullback, but he runs like a big mule in there, bowling his way ahead for first down yardage. A 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. The ball spotted at the 15-yard line of Geneva.
Tell you what, he's a big guy and he can run. We watched him in practice. The man has some good bursts of speed. We haven't seen him so far. Let's hope we don't.
Scott Frost, 1st and 10 for the 15 for the Eagles. The handoff, he keeps it himself once again. Scott Frost down inside the 5-yard line. He's got a good ability to fake that handoff and pull it out of there at the last second. Running to his right, picks up good yardage, a 1st down once again. Now a 1st and goal for the Eagles inside the 5-yard line. Call it the 3. 1st and goal for the 3 for the Eagles. They lead it 15-7 with 5:30 left to play in the first half. Chad Boyce into the game, Mike Scriven, and Adam Verhage in on defense for the Geneva Wildcats. Hopper's got to get out of there. As Scott Frost takes it himself on the quarterback keeper. Not much doing as Geneva stacks it up nicely. Gets maybe 1 or 2. Started from the 3. He's got to get in there. It was a 1st and goal, and Scott Frost takes it himself.
You want to talk about having confidence in your offensive line? Quarterback sneak from your own or from the Geneva 3-yard line. I'll tell you what, they've got all sorts of confidence in that Wood River offensive front 5, and why not? They're really knocking the Geneva Wildcats around out there.
Well, Frost goes 6'3". He just has to basically fall down, and he's in there for the touchdown. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Scott Frost will take it himself, jumping over the top. Touchdown, Wood River. Frost was knocked backwards, but not until he had gotten in there for the touchdown, as the linesman from the far side brought the signal in. Touchdown, Wood River. They lead it now 21-7 with 4:30 left to play in this first half from Geneva, Nebraska.
We're sitting back here at the 50-yard line. Granted, we don't have a great view, but they called that touchdown awfully quick. Didn't look to me like he got over, but if he did, he got over by just enough.
He's a big kid, 6'3" tall. A very long player as he just stretched out and put the ball over there. Touchdown, Wood River. They lead at 21-7 over Geneva, as it'll be Brandon Bailey in to kick it. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Bailey's kick is good. Wood River now leads at 22-7 with 4:30 left to play in the first half. Geneva will get the ball back. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Let's go Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters with high school football on KTMX. Glad to have you with us on this Monday afternoon. 4:30 left to play in the opening quarter. Wood River leads at 22-7 over Geneva following the Scott Frost 1-yard touchdown run. It'll be Todd Nichols taking the ball for Geneva at his own 20-yard line. He gets out to the 30 and knocked down there by a host of Wood River defenders. Todd Nichols, this is the first time we've seen him back to receive kicks in the deep back position for Geneva all season long. It's usually Stratman and Bates. This time they send Nichols back there to receive, and he does a fine job of returning as he gets the ball out to the 30-yard line, where Geneva will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 30. They trail it 22-7 with 4 minutes, 25 seconds left to play in the first half. Dan Bryant brings the team out of the huddle. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Tureen at the wingback position. Bigger splits wide to the right. Bryant wants to throw to Bigger. He's got him. He's got him at the 40-yard line, and knocked out of bounds there goes Doug Bigger. A nice play once again on that short out pattern. Doug Bigger receives the pass from Dan Bryant, and Bryant has been perfect tonight so far.
I tell you what, Bigger, the big target. He's caught 3 out there for 28 yards.
They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Doug Bigger, a nice pickup, a 2nd down and 3 now on the 7-yard pass play from Bryant to Bigger. 2nd and 3, the ball spotted on the 38-yard line. Bryant hands off to Bates off the right side. He's got a hole. He's across the 40 to the 42.5, 43-yard line goes James Bates. 1st down yardage for Geneva. Once again, they get something going with 4:07 left to play in the half. They trail it by 15.
I was going to say, Jim, very important for Geneva to get something going offensively. Geneva's best defense is keeping the football away from Wood River's Scott Frost. So far, they've done that very, very scarcely here in the first half, but the Wildcat offense is doing some things out there, making some stuff happen. Right now, let's see if they can't punch one in before the half.
1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Dan Bryant sends James Bates in motion to his right. Fumble on the snap. Let's see who got it. Fumble on the snap. And a 1st down for Wood River as the ball squirted loose from the hands of Dan Bryant, and Wood River fell on it. Another turnover for Geneva. You just cannot do that against Wood River, especially in the playoffs.
This is where the big boys start banging heads. Geneva and Wood River, both a couple of the best teams in Class C, knocking heads tonight, and the difference in a ball game like this could be a turnover. So far, Wildcats 2 turnovers, the Wood River Eagles 1.
The ball spotted on the 43-yard line of Geneva. Wood River with a 1st and 10. Frost with a quick handoff to Gall. Not much doing there as he stopped hard. Dan Tureen, the first man in there to hit him hard. Bates was also in there on the tackle. And I believe Opfer in there as well. Justin Opfer, the 170-pound sophomore, in there to help corral big Mike Gall from the fullback position. A pickup of maybe 2. We'll call it a 2nd down and 8. The ball spotted just outside of the 40-yard line of Geneva. Wood River has the ball. 2nd and 8, 3:05 left to play in this first half. The Eagles with a 15-point lead over the Wildcats. Scott Frost brings his team out of the huddle. He's got Joe Horst in the backfield along with Mike Gall. They've been there all night as Frost puts hands under center, drops back to pass, rolling to his right. He's got some running room. He's going to run the ball. And at the last second, he throws it. He might have stepped over the line of scrimmage. The pass downfield. Intercepted. Intercepted in the goal line. Touchback. And Geneva takes over. Check that man. Check that man down there who intercepted the ball. It was Jason Rung on the beautiful interception. Scott Frost rolling to his right at the last second before he crossed the line of scrimmage. Heaved it 45 yards in the air. Jason Rung was there with some beautiful defensive coverage. Intercepted the ball in the end zone. Touchback Geneva. They've got something going now as they stop Wood River once again.
Hey, Jim, Scott Frost is human. He makes mistakes. Not a real good thrown ball there. Shouldn't have thrown it.
22-7, 2:49 left to play in the first half. Geneva trails it by 15. They have the ball, 1st and 10 for their own 20. Bates off the right side, knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Mike Gall. Gall playing the linebacker position, shooting in there, trips up Bates and knocks him down at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him about a half a yard. That'll bring up a 2nd and long 9. From the 21-yard line, we'll call it, of Geneva, the Wildcats, with 2:25 left in the half. John Everly once again splits out wide to the right. Dan Bryan with hands on a big Chad Boyce. The inside handoff to Tureen. He's crossed the 30-yard line. Goes Dan Tureen on the quick inside handoff. Boy, he shoots through there fast. They're going to mark him down at the 29-yard line, just shy of the first down yardage. Dan Tureen on the inside handoff from that wingback position picks up good yardage, close to the first down, not quite enough. That'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
It's worked several times for the Wildcats tonight. Tureen, 4 carries, 18 yards.
Bryan brings his team out of the huddle. Bates and Fiala in the backfield. Tureen at the wingback position once again. Fiala off the right side. He's got enough for the first down. Stopped at the 31-yard line goes Lance Fiala, the 210-pound sophomore fullback. Picks up first down yardage. 1:40 left to play in the first half. Geneva would really like to get something on the board going into that locker room.
Tell you what, Wildcats a little breathing room right now, just in case Bryan, God forbid, throws an interception. Just a little bit of breathing room, just in case a mistake happens right now. Now the Wildcats can open it up.
The clock is running. 1:32, 1:31, 1:30 left to play in the half. Bryan brings his team out of the huddle. Splits men wide to the right and wide to the left. It's Stratman to the right and Bigger to the left. Bryant turns, pitches off to Fiala. Knocked in the backfield, gets his way ahead to the 32-yard line. Some strong running from Lance Fiala. He was hit in the backfield, pulled his way ahead for about a gain of 1. Lance Fiala running hard. The clock continues to run at 1:06, 1:05. A 2nd down now and 9 for the Wildcats. A trick play as the entire offensive line splits wide to the left. And now a timeout on the field. Let's check it. I think it was Wood River wisely taking a timeout as a trick play. Once again, Danny Malone goes to his bag of tricks. He split the entire offensive line wide to the left. He had only Stratman and Bryan in the backfield along with the snapper. And I believe that time he had Doug Biggert in there snapping as everybody else was split wide to the left. And I don't know what they were going to do, Marty, but it looked like something that was going to really confuse the Wood River team as they wisely called a timeout at the last second, preventing any kind of a trickery from Danny Malone.
You know, all Danny Malone did was cause the Wood River Eagles to use one of their timeouts. Now Malone has two timeouts left. Great call there by Danny Malone. Forces the Eagles to use a timeout. Now the Wildcats can regroup and decide what they're going to do.
Little strategy from the Texan as he breaks up the game plan for the Wood River Eagle defense. It's still 2nd and 9 with 56 seconds left to play in the opening half. Wood River has to waste one, and that works well for the Geneva Wildcats. Let's see what they do this time. They come out of the huddle in their normal offensive formation. Biegert and Ted Stratman will both split wide to the left. Nichols in at the tight end positions. It's Lance Fiala at fullback behind Dan Bryant with James Bates also in the backfield. Bryant back to pass on the draw play. This is James Bates. He gets across the 35 to the 40 to the 45-yard line goes James Bates. A first down for Geneva on the draw play, and a nice hole that time as James Bates finds his way up to the 45. They'll call it the 44 where he was knocked down. A 14-yard carry from James Bates that time. The clock is running once again, 48 seconds left to play in the first half. Dan Bryant, hands under center, back to pass once again. He's got Ted Stratman, he overthrows him. The first mistake from Dan Bryant of the evening, incomplete pass. That brings up a 2nd and 10 for Geneva.
Stops the clock, lets the Wildcats rest a little bit offensively and decide what they want to do with the rest of the half.
41 seconds left to play in the first half. 22-7, Wood River leads it. 2nd and 10 for Geneva. They have the ball on their own 44-yard line as Coach Danny Malone pulling out all the stops in this Class C1 State High School football playoff game. Bryant marking out the count. He's got Stratman split wide to the right, and Todd Nichols took off a little early, and he's going to get called for the false start. So a 5-yard penalty against Geneva. False start against Todd Nichols, moving a little bit early, wanting to get out downfield quickly, as I believe he would have been the primary receiver, Marty.
Do you blame him? He wanted the TD. He wanted the pass. He wanted the football in his hand. He wanted to make something happen. You got to love that about this Wildcat offense.
So a 2nd down and 15 now as Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Spread offense for the Wildcats. Bryant with the pump fake. Now he wants to go long. He's got Ted Stratman down the sideline. Overthrown. Oh, Ted Stratman had a step, and Dan Bryant just overthrew him by inches. Incomplete pass, bringing up a 3rd and 15, and Dan Bryant with some nice pump faking in the offensive backfield really fooled that Wood River defensive backfield. The incomplete pass, though, brings up a 3rd and 15 for Coach Danny Malone with 33 seconds left to play in the half. The Wildcats trailing it by 15. Biegert splits wide left. Ted Stratman once again splits wide right. Nichols at the tight end position. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Bryant on the draw play to Bates off the right side. He's got a hole knocked down at the 45-yard line, well short of the first down. James Bates with some good running. The hole was there for a moment, closed nicely by the Wood River defense. So that brings up a 4th down and about 10, and I believe Danny Malone will have to kick it away. He might try to just throw it up for grabs with only 12 seconds left. He might let the clock run down to one play and then just air it out there on the Hail Mary. Let's see what he does. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to let it. No, he's going to call for timeout. Is he going to call for timeout?
You got to give him a second. You got to give him a second.
The referee blew the whistle just before the clock ran out. A timeout for Geneva. They'll have one play to finish up this first half. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Back after this.
Why not? Mr. Walter Insurance and Real Estate is the company you need to have coverage with.
If he'd have hit Stratman right there, it would have been 6.
Right. It's been spending time on these. We'll talk about it at halftime. One step away.
We have no halftime interviews. We're going to have to talk.
Just in case.
Lisa, if you have a chance, go get some news prepared in case we need to throw it to you for like a couple of minutes for a newscast, okay? Welcome back to Geneva, Nebraska. High school football, round number 2 of the Class C1 State High School Football Playoffs. Marty Winters and Jim Tibbles with you. There's no time left on the clock, but there is 1 second left in this first half. Geneva called the timeout just before the clock expired. They trail it by 15. They'll try a desperation Hail Mary here with no time left in the first half. Let's see if they can punch it in. They split 3 men wide to the left, trips to the left. It's James Bates, Dan Tureen, and Doug Biegert to the left. As Todd Nichols puts to the right, it'll be Biegert. The pass is almost intercepted, knocked down. James Bates couldn't quite get to it. Mike Gall with a nice defensive play from his linebacker position. No good. The first half ends. Geneva trails it 22.
Individually, Dan Bryant having one whale of a ball game, 4 of 6 in the first half, 53 yards passing to go along with the 76 yards rushing. The Wildcats 129 total in that first half. Individually rushing the ball, James Bates 35 yards on 8 carries. Lance Fiala 23 yards on 8 carries, and Dan Tureen, 18 yards on 4 carries. Receiving the football, Doug Biegert, 3 catches, 28 yards. Ted Stratman, 1 for 25 yards. Individually for the Wood River Eagles, 99 yards rushing, only 50 yards passing. Scott Frost, 3 of 4 for 50 yards in the passing department. Individually rushing the football, all Scott Frost, 10 carries for 84 yards. You take away all of his rushing totals, and you don't have a whole lot of offense. Mike Gall, 4 carries for 11 yards. Joe Horst, 3 carries for a -1 net on the evening. And Tim Zavala, 1 carry for 5 yards. So 149 yards total offense, Wood River, 129 yards total offense.
For the Wildcats to receive the kick. Dan Tureen also back there. Tureen will take it at his own 13-yard line. The wedge is set up. He's across the 20 to the 25, out to the 35-yard line. Goes Dan Tureen, busting tackles as he breaks his way across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Dan Tureen, a nice return to open up the second half for the Geneva Wildcats. They take over 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, trailing at 22-7 behind this very potent offensive attack of the Wood River Eagles. 11:46 left to play in the third quarter as we have just begun play. Doug Biegert will split wide to the left for the Wildcats. Dan Bryant in at quarterback, hands under big Chad Boyce. He turns, fakes the handoff, wants to throw, being chased, being sacked. Dan Bryant knocked down well behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to drop him down way back behind the 25. A late flag, maybe a late hit. Let's see what they call. It was Dan Bryant being dragged down at his own 24-yard line. A penalty flag, late, maybe a personal foul, dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. One of the Geneva Wildcat offensive linemen said something that the officials didn't like to hear. There's a play already as Brian was sacked well back behind the 24-yard line. It was a loss of 11 on the play. The tack on the face mask at the end of the play. Doug Biegert with the pass to Todd Nichols at midfield. Give him another 15 yards. Geneva, wow.
Talk about going to the tricks. Coach Malone, nothing to lose, says, what the heck? Let's give that thing a toss. What do we have? They're bringing it all the way back. Oh, no.
What's the call? I thought it was a face mask at the end of the play. Check the call from the official. It was a holding against Geneva. A hold against Geneva. So that'll negate the play, and a dead ball foul at the end of the play. Another unsportsmanlike conduct. It was not a face mask. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the part of the Wood River Eagles. So the holding will negate the play. They'll take Geneva back 10 yards, I believe. Then the dead ball foul after the play was over. They'll tack on 15 yards forward for Geneva, but still a loss and a momentum breaker as Geneva. Field was knocked down there, and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wood River, but the play was already over, and the holding call moves Geneva back 10 yards, spotting the ball on their own 5-yard line. Now they'll mark off the 15 yards for the unsportsmanlike, but that's all after the play was over. So the 15 yards moves the ball out to the 20. The ball is on the 20. It's still second down, I believe. Still second down, but they've still got a long ways to go. Second and 10, 15, 20 yards to go. 25, second and 25 for Geneva. The ball spotted on the 20-yard line of the Wildcats. Bryant back to pass again. He's got Biegert out there. Biegert's got it at the 39-yard line. Doug Biegert, what a tremendous pass route he ran. Not enough for the first down, but a huge chunk of that 25 they needed. The ball spotted at the 39-yard line. It'll be a third down now, and about 7 to go. Doug Biegert running some nice pass patterns.
It's been open all night long, and Dan Bryan delivering the strikes. They'll keep doing it until Wood River can stop it.
10:34 left to play in the third quarter. 22-7. Wood River leads it. Geneva with a third down and 7. The ball spotted on their own 38-yard line, call it. Dan Bryant with hands under center. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. The pitch is off to Bates off the right side. Bates got a hole. He's across the 40 to the 41, 42, 43-yard line. Goes James Bates, stretching that pigskin out there for that extra yardage short of the first down, bringing up a 4th and short. Let's see what Danny Malone does here. 4th down. I think he's just going to have to kick it away, Marty. It's 4th and about 2. He's going to go for it. He sends Doug Biggert into the game with the play from the sidelines. Danny Malone with some confidence in his offense now. Doug Biggert brings the play in. It's a 4th and 2. The ball spotted at the 43-yard line of Geneva. They need to get to the 45. Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Bates and Fiala in the backfield. Double tight end formation. Bryant with hands under big Chad Boyce, marking out the count. The pitch is off the right side. Bates wants to throw it. Throws it back to Bryant. Incomplete. Incomplete pass. Set up nicely, but the pressure from Greg Reel, the defensive tackle, the 215-pound senior for Wood River, put the pressure on Bates. He took the pitch play to the right side, and Bryant peeled off to the left side. He was open, but Bates was pressured by big Greg Reel of Wood River and couldn't quite get the pass out to Dan Bryant, who had a lot of green in front of him, folks. He would have been gone.
They would have gotten it to Bryan. He still would be running.
So on the change of possession, Wood River takes over on the 43 of Geneva, and the handoff goes to huge Joe Horst. He goes 230. He picks up 1 yard on the first down play, and what a heartbreaker on that. A couple of plays. The Biggert to Nichols pass gets negated by the holding call at the line of scrimmage, and then the pass play attempt from Bates to Bryant falls incomplete. Turnover. Wood River were now with a 2nd and 9 from the 42 of Geneva. Frost wants to throw it, rolling to his right, escapes a tackler. Hopper out there, can't get him. He's to the 40, to the 39, to the 38, knocked down at about the 37-yard line. James Bates comes up from the defensive back position and lays a lick on Scott Frost. Scott Frost a little slow getting up as Bates really pounded him into the turf. Not much of a gain on that play. They'll give him a couple. Let's call it 3rd down and 5 to go. The ball now spotted on the 37.5-yard line. Let's call it the 37 of Geneva. Wood River comes out with 3rd and 5. Scott Frost sends a man wide to the right. Hands under center, marking out the count. Tries to draw somebody off sides, and it's big Randy Messman who jumps off sides. He's mad at himself, eager to get in there and knock Frost down for a loss. Messman jumps off sides. Dead ball foul, encroachment against Geneva, 5 yards. Let's see if that's enough. It was 3rd and 5, folks. And let's see if the 5-yard penalty marked off will give them enough for the first down. It's 3rd and I can't really tell as the chains are across the field if he needed a long 5 or a short 5. It's right in the middle of that 10-yard chain marker as the head referee will go over there and step off 5, and it's going to be short. 3rd down and less than a yard to go. 3rd and less than a yard, as they'll bring the chains in after marking off the 5-yard penalty against Geneva. So, wow, a couple of tough plays right there in a row for Geneva. And I'm thinking that Geneva players and the Geneva fans have the wind out of their sails. I've got the wind out of my sails.
Well, the big thing is that the confidence shown by the Wildcat offense, they're going to the bag of tricks. You said that many times tonight. Why not? Nothing to lose. They're playing a real tough Eagles squad tonight. Offensively, this Geneva Wildcat squad is confident. They've stopped themselves a couple of times, but these things are open. They'll go back to them. A lot more football left in this contest. 8:15 left in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for the Wildcats to put themselves back into a position to win this thing.
Trailing it by 15. The Geneva Wildcats need desperately here to stop the Wood River offensive attack. Wood River with a 3rd down, less than a yard to go. The ball spotted at the 33.5-yard line of Geneva. Scott Frost brings his team out of the huddle. He sends Matt Gideon wide to the left and Tim Zavala wide to the right. 2 backs in the backfield, Horst and Gall. Gall moved early, got away with it. Scott Frost takes it himself ahead for first down yardage as he crosses the 30 to the 29. Scott Frost just followed Matt Gall through the hole, picked up the first down yardage. That's a 1st and 10 from the 29 of Geneva. Wood River getting all the breaks tonight, it seems, Marty.
12 carries for 92 yards unofficially for Big Scotty Frost.
He's a good one. Makes you wonder if Nebraska is going to continue to recruit this big player from Wood River. considering the success of Tommy Frazier this year. The handoff to Horst, knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Knocked down, it was big Randy Messman, Bill Settlemeyer combining to make the stop. And was Big Chad Boyce in there? Yes. Big Chad Boyce, Randy Messman, and a host of Geneva defenders stopping Big Joe Horst. They're going to say he lost about 1 on the play. Second down and 11 now. The ball at the 30-yard line of Geneva, Wood River, with 7:22 left to play in the third quarter. They hold on to a 22-7 lead. A fumble on the snap. Frost picks it up. And there's Big Chad Boyce again, knocking him down. No gain on the play. Frost dropped the ball, picked it up again, and Chad Boyce, 260 pounds all over him, knocking him down, along with Todd Nichols from his defensive end position. And I believe Justin Opfer was in there as well. Justin Opfer, a tremendous defensive player at 170 pounds. He's only a sophomore. He plays well, though. 6:52 left to play in the third. 22-7. Wood River leads it. Third and 11. The ball remains at the 30-yard line of Geneva. The Eagles in Wildcat territory. Third and 11. Frost brings his team out of the huddle. Spread formation. Frost straight drop back. Wants to throw. Being pressured. Gets away from one man. Rolling to his right. They don't call the hold. Gets out there. Andy Lucas. Nice defensive play by Andy Lucas coming up from that cornerback position. Stops Scott Frost short of the first down. It'll be a fourth and relatively short for the Eagles. Let's see what Coach Larry Frost, the father of Scott, does on this play. We'll call it a fourth and about 3.5 for Wood River. The ball is spotted on the 22-yard line of Geneva. They're going to go for it on fourth, and we'll call it a long 3. Let's see if Geneva can hold here. What a momentum boost this would be if they can hold Wood River after coughing the ball up inside their own territory. 4th and 3. The ball on the 22 of Geneva. Wood River. Scott Frost calling out the count. Rolling to his left. Keeps it. Knocked down. Short. They hold. The Geneva Wildcats hold as Scott Frost is knocked down short of the 20-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They take over on their own 20-yard line. A long ways to go. And you talk about the field position advantage as Dan Tureen was the man that first got in there and dragged big Scotty Frost down short of the first down yardage. Field position very much in the favor of the Eagles this entire game.
You're right, 80 yards from pay dirt for the Geneva Wildcats, but they've got the offensive potency, the offensive players to make it happen. Let's see.
If they can just stop killing themselves, as they've done throughout this game so far. They trail it by 15, 5:30 left to play in the third. Biegert and Dan Tureen will split wide to the left. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Bryant barking out the count. Straight drop back, draw play. James Bates knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. They went to the well once too many times. James Bates on the draw play, and Wood River reads it and knocks him down. A loss of about 7 on the play, bringing up a second down and 17 to go. They're going to say a loss of 6, so 2nd and 16 to go for Geneva. A huge loss that time as the draw play didn't fool anybody. The ball spotted on the 14-yard line of Geneva. Biegert splits to the left. Dan Bryant barking out the count. Turns, wants to throw, off the left side, being chased and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Another loss on the play. That time, the first man in there was Greg Reel, and we've seen him play nice defense all night long as Greg Reel, the 215-pound senior, gets in there and drops Dan Bryant for another loss. And Geneva, deep in a hole once again. They've been in a hole all game long, at least in the second half, it seems, Marty.
Tough to convert 3rd and 25, and they've been in that position their first 2 offensive possessions here in the second half. That hurts.
The ball spotted on their own 8-yard line, which makes it even that much worse. 3rd and 22, Geneva from their own 8. Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Let's see what Danny Malone does here. Bryant, straight drop back, wants to throw it. He's got a man down the sidelines, heaves it out there. Doug Biegert, there's some interference. They're going to call it interference on the defender as Doug Biegert was out there, had a step, and he was interfered with. It was pretty blatant. It was pretty obvious to us up here. The flag flew immediately, and Geneva stays alive with an automatic first down following the pass interference call. As Doug Biegert was out there, and Dan Bryant, he's got a cannon.
You know, it's about time the Wildcats got a break. They've been, I guess, the break takers.
That's right.
That makes sense, but it's about darn time they got a break. They got it right there. 5 penalties for 55 yards against the Eagles, 7 penalties for 55 yards against the Geneva Wildcats. The only difference in the ball game, turnovers. 3 for the Wildcats, 1 for the Eagles. That's why the Eagles have the 15-point lead right now.
So they'll mark off 15 yards, an automatic first down. Still, they lose yardage from the original line of scrimmage as they were driving well, but they, like you said, not getting the breaks, a couple of sacks, the penalties on the previous drive. And Geneva, now with the first down, they are alive, and the Geneva fans are getting excited. The ball is spotted on the 21-yard line of Geneva. Dan Bryant with a 1st and 10 to work with. Turns, gives it off to Bates in the backfield. He's got a hole to the 25. Knocked down at about the 30-yard line goes James Bates. And knocked down hard goes James Bates, but he picks up good yardage off the right side of that offensive line. Out to the 30, short of the first down by a couple. It'll be a 2nd down and short for Geneva. They have to get to the 33 as it was a 1st and 10 from the 23. So it's a 2nd down and 3. Call it a long 2 from the 30-yard line. Geneva with the ball, getting something going here with 3:20 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Bates and Fiala behind Bryant in the backfield. Bryant turns, gives it off to Fiala off the left side, cuts it up. Knocked down initially at the 30, pulls his way ahead to about the 32, close to the first down yardage. Let's check the spot. He had to get to about the 32.5, 33-yard line. The officials checking that chain on the far side. They're going to say not enough. 3rd down now, 3rd and short. Now they're going to measure it at the request of Coach Danny Malone. But Marty, Geneva, it seems like when they get things going, it's just not quite enough as they're deep in a hole every time they start the possession.
Well, we've said it several times tonight. They're stopping themselves offensively. Hey, they were only 20 yards off the pace of Wood River at halftime. I doubt they're all that close right now, but the Wildcats can move the football on this Eagle defense. They've done it all night long. The only difference, the turnovers. They've shot themselves in the foot. Penalties that you just don't like to see at this point in the season. Hey, this is for all the marbles. The Wildcats really pushing the Eagles around offensively. Defensively, been a different story. They've bent, but they haven't broken. It's going to be a great finish.
Dan Bryant signals to the coaching staff, and we saw it as well. About a foot to go for the first, 3rd and very short. Geneva with the ball spotted on their own 32-yard line. Bryant will bring his team out of the huddle, double tight end formation. Fiala and Bates in the backfield. Dan Tureen at the wingback position. Bates moves up next to Tureen. Bryant turns, gives it off to Fiala. He's got enough for the first down. Pulling his way ahead to the 35, 36-yard line goes big Lance Fiala. The 210-pound sophomore plays like he's a senior. First down, Geneva. They got something going with 2:40 left to play in the 3rd. 22-7. Wood River still leads it, but Geneva has proved in this game that they can move the ball on this Wood River defense.
Fiala, 10 carries, 30 yards, and I'll tell you what, when he hits that line of scrimmage, looks like the defense is moving backwards. Fun kid to watch play football. We get to see him 2 more years.
Dan Tureen splits wide to the left, Biegert wide to the right. Bryant on the straight drop back, play action fake now, throws it out there to Lance Fiala, dropped it, incomplete. Just out of the reach of Fiala, had it for a moment. He had it in his fingertips for a moment, just went right through there. To the turf it goes, incomplete pass, a 2nd and 10 now. Fiala would have picked up about 7 on that play. Incomplete pass brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball remains spotted at the 36-yard line of Geneva. Seems like they've got forever to go for the score. They move the ball well, and there's just too much green between them and the end zone. Dan Bryant at quarterback. Splits Eberly now into the game, wide to the left. Here's the handoff to Bates off the right side. He's across the 35 to the 40, down to the 41-yard line, and knocked down hard once again. The defensive backs for the Wood River football team really hit hard out there, and that was Scotty Frost, the quarterback, laying a lick on James Bates. Bates picks up about 5 on that carry, bringing up a 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. 1:55. The clock continues to run. Geneva desperately needs to get a score quickly so they have enough time to work the rest of the game. They trail it by 15. 1:45 left to play in the 3rd. 3rd and 5 for Geneva. The ball spotted on the 41-yard line of the Wildcats. Dan Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Bates and Fiala, as we've seen them all night long in the backfield. Flag on the play. Let's check it. And Larry Frost over there was screaming and jumping up and down. He saw some movement and so did the officials. A false start against Geneva, and how many times can we say this, Marty? They're killing themselves.
3rd and 10 looks a lot worse than 3rd and 5, so all of a sudden Wildcats dig themselves a hole. Let's see. Obviously a passing situation. Danny Bryant has been on target all night long. He's 5 of 8 for 70 yards on the evening. Look for Doug Biggert.
That's his favorite receiver on the evening. Biggert able to run those patterns, and he's split out wide to the left. Nobody's on him. Finally, Pat Bittner comes over there to cover him. Actually, that's Tim Savala, number 17. Biggert splits wide to the left. Bryant wants to throw it to the left. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Tipped at the line of scrimmage. Dan Bryant's pass. He was going for Nichols coming across the middle of the field. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It fell helplessly to the turf. So a 4th and 10 now for the Wildcats. They'll have to kick it away. They're working hard out there on offense, but they're just not producing any points on the board. 1:27 left to play in the 3rd. Geneva trails it by 15, 22-7. Wood River will get the ball back. On a 4th and 10, Andy Lucas into the game for the Wildcats to kick it away, standing in his own 21-yard line. He'll kick it away to big Scotty Frost, standing on his own 31-yard line. He does it all. The rush is on. The kick is away cleanly. Frost fields it at the 37-yard line and goes to his knees where he'll be down. So Wood River takes over 1st and 10 from their own 37. They lead at 22-7 with 1:22 left to play in the 3rd. Wood River once again with relatively good field position, Marty.
You're right. You know, if we take a look at the time of possession tonight, I'm sure Geneva's got at least 5 or 6 minutes on this Wood River Eagles squad. Offensively, the Wildcats have controlled the football. They've had some long drives. They just have not been able to punch it in the end zone as of yet.
1st and 10 from the 37. Wood River has the ball in their own territory. Frost rolling to his right. He's got a man out there wide open. The pass is caught in midfield, breaks the tackle, gets across the 45 to the 40 to the 35-yard line. Goes Matt Gideon, the receiver for Wood River. He was corralled at about midfield, broke a tackle, gets down to the 35-yard line. Matt Gideon on a nice pass play, and there's the strong arm of Scott Frost that we've been talking about, and it's been talked about all season long. He can run it, he can throw it, and he can throw it with the best of them. The 6'3", 210-pound senior Scotty Frost airs it out there to Matt Gideon. Gideon does the rest, catches it at the 50, moves it ahead 15 more yards. The ball now spotted at the 35-yard line of Geneva. 1st and 10 for Wood River. They lead it 22-7. 40 seconds left to play in the 3rd. Frost with trips to the left. Horst, the lone setback. Frost surveys the defense. Hands off the Horst up the middle. He's got some running room. He's to the 30. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line goes Joe Horst, the 230-pound running back. And Geneva was fooled that time as Wood River spread things out nicely, opened up a hole for Horst, who picks up about 7 or 8 as the Geneva faithful get on their feet behind their team. 10 seconds left to play in the 3rd. That could have been the last play of the 3rd quarter as Wood River comes over the ball. 4 seconds left in the 3rd. 2, 1. That'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. We've done 3, Marty. 1 to go from Geneva, Nebraska. It's the Wood River Eagles leading at 22-7 over the Geneva Wildcats in round number 2 of the Class C1 State High School Football Playoffs from Geneva. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters back in 30 seconds. Game, it's round number 2. Geneva trails Wood River 22-7. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters from Geneva, Nebraska. At this point, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank our Geneva football sports boosters, Geneva Implement, Geneva Tire and Auto, Green Country, Geneva Agri Supply, Weaver Pharmacy, Geneva Motors, Richard Walter Insurance, York State Bank in Geneva, Gamble's, and ASAP Appliance. Thank you, folks, for allowing us to put this fine high school football playoff game on the air tonight on The Mix, 104.9 FM, KTMX out of York, Nebraska. And Marty, Geneva desperately needs to stop this Wood River offense. Of course, when they get the ball back, they'll probably be deep in their territory, as we've seen all game long. And although they move the ball nicely against Wood River, it's just too far to go.
Defense needs to come up with a big turnover right now, turn the momentum around, put the Wildcat offense back out on the football field, see if we can't make this a little closer.
2nd and 2, the ball spotted on the 28-yard line of Geneva. Wood River with a 2nd and 2. Scott Frost back to pass, wants to go deep, being chased now out of the pocket, still got time, running to his right. Now he's got the 1st down yardage as he crosses the 20 to the 15, knocked down at about the 10-yard line goes Scotty Frost, making things happen from the quarterback position. And a scrambling quarterback really opens up your offense and really makes it tough on the defense, and that's what we're seeing tonight. Scott Frost doing it all for the Eagles. He picks up the first down yardage. The ball now is going to be spotted just at the 10-yard line. Call it the 9 now. They'll spot it at the 9, a first and goal for Geneva, or rather for Wood River from inside the 10, a first and goal from the 9. Scotty Frost and company over the ball. They lead at 22-7 as the Geneva faithful get loud. Frost, hands under center. Trying to draw that defense off sides. The handoff to Horst, knocked down immediately. Not much of a gain that time, but Horst at 6 foot 2 inches tall and 230 pounds falls forward and picks up about 1. Todd Nichols, the first man to meet him.
You really hate to see it, Jim. Right now it seems like the Wildcats kind of slapping at the Wood River runners. They're a lot better defensively than they're showing right now. I hate to say it, but it looks like we might be hanging our heads a little bit, and that's really sad because this Wildcat squad is a quality team. They can play this Wood River squad evenly. Let's hope they suck it up right now.
A little frustrated. They've played well, but they still trail it by 15. Trips to the left. Scott Frost. Pitch play to the right side. Joe Horst got some running room to the 5, inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and goal from inside the 5. Let's check the spot. Close to the goal line. They're going to say he fell forward. Let's see where they spot him down at. Inside the 2-yard line. I believe he's at the 1-yard line. Officials timeout on the field to change the balls. It'll be a third down, goal to go. The ball spotted just inside the 2-yard line. As Wood River can pass the ball, they can run the ball, and they've just gotten the breaks tonight over this Geneva Wildcat team. Frost standing over the center. The ball spotted on the 2. A man in motion to the left. Geneva shifting the defense around. Frost rolling to his left. Run pass option. Throws it into the end zone. Incomplete. Right in his hands. Incomplete. Geneva holds on a 4th and goal from inside the 2. The pass was perfectly thrown. Actually, it was a little bit behind his intended receiver. But the ball was dropped in the end zone, so Geneva stays alive. The ball dropped in the end zone. It was 18, Roger Redding, 5 foot 10 inch, 165-pound senior dropping the ball, and Scotty Frost and company going for it on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. Geneva stacking things up inside. Frost will take it himself. He's in there. Touchdown. Scotty Frost, and Wood River goes up now 28-7 as Scotty Frost has scored 4 touchdowns on the ground tonight for these Eagles. 10:03 left to play in this game, far from over, but Wood River with a commanding lead late in this ball game, 28-7. They'll try to make it 29 as Brandon Bailey comes in to attempt the extra point. Bailey with the whitest uniform out there. He's the kicker. He goes 5'10", 180 pounds, a senior split end. He's done a fine job kicking for Wood River so far tonight. The ball is bobbled, the snap. Scotty Frost is going to be corralled and knocked down. No good. The extra point is no good. Maybe that's the spark that Wood River, or that Geneva needs rather, to get something going here. Hopefully they'll get some good field position to start this opening drive of their 4th quarter, as they've got 10 minutes and 3 seconds left to do something in this game, Artie.
Well, that's the kind of thing that you'd like to see as a coach. Geneva needing a big break. It really doesn't do a whole lot for them, but let's hope the offense can get something going. Score quickly, get the football back, and make it interesting.
10:03 left to play in the 4th quarter from Geneva, Nebraska. Wood River leads it 28-7, and the game a lot closer than the score would indicate.
It is. The difference in the contest, Scott Frost, he has 118 yards on 17 carries. But he's not all of Wood River. I'll tell you what, I could get through some of those holes. The Wood River offensive line opening up some huge holes. The Geneva Wildcats doing some good things as well. It's been a classic Class C high school football clash. It's too bad one team's going to have to go home.
Geneva trails it by 3 touchdowns. They can score quickly. Let's see what happens. They're set to receive the kick as Bates, Tureen, and Nichols back to receive it. Bates will take it at about the 15-yard line, out across the 20 to the 25, breaks a hole. Out to the 35-yard line goes James Bates as he broke through that hole at about the 25-yard line. Good running from James Bates. He's been doing it all night long. The Wildcats take over 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, trailing at 28-7 with 9:55 left to play in the game.
You know, Geneva, the running backs, quarterback, been about a foot, a step away from breaking a couple of long ones. This thing could be a lot closer. Wildcats being tripped up at the line of scrimmage by a hand, this kind of thing. One tackle, one step, this thing could be a 28-21 ball game.
Biggert splits out wide to the left. Bryant with hands on a big Chad Boyce. The turn, the handoff is to Bates, the second man through. Across the 40, out to the 42, 43-yard line goes James Bates. Some good running following that big offensive line up the middle behind Chad Boyce, the anchor of that offensive line for the Wildcats. He goes 255, 260. Opening holes for James Bates. A pickup of 7. Call it 8 on the carry. A 2nd down and 2 now. 2nd and 2, and a timeout on the field with 9:21 left to play in the game. Wood River leads at 28-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Downs 28-7 behind Wood River. They have a 2nd down and 2 with the ball spotted on their 42.5-yard line. Bryant hands off to Dan Tureen. He's got some room across the 45, across the 50 to the 47-yard line goes James Bates. Not Dan Tureen, Bates, number 21, running rush shot over the Wood River defense. He picks up 1st down yardage and then some into Wood River territory. The ball spotted now at the 48-yard line. Once again, I have to question the spot by the officiating crew tonight.
They haven't been all that helpful to the Wildcats offensively, that's for sure. 13 carries, 60 yards for big James Bates.
A nice evening for this young man. Dan Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Fiala Bates behind him. Tureen at the wingback position. On the play action fake. Bryant wants to throw it. He's got Doug Biegert downfield. Caught at the 41-yard line. Check at the 41-yard line. Doug Biegert. Beautiful hands by that kid. A pickup of about 8 or 9 as Doug Biegert. Tell you what, if nothing else, Doug Biegert can run a pass route as well as anybody else I've seen.
He's caught 5 Dan Bryant footballs tonight, 63 yards.
Good hands as well. As Biegert, the 170-pound senior, goes off the field. Geneva with a 2nd down and a very long 2. Bryant hands under center, turns, and another false start as Todd Nichols jumped a little bit early. And this line judge over here is not giving an inch. Very unforgiving over here as he's calling everything out there. Loss of 5. Move them back 5. It'll be another 2nd down, but this time it'll be 2nd and about 7.5 to go. Oh, it's 2nd and a very long 7. Geneva with the ball now spotted on the 46-yard line of Wood River. 8:15 left to go in the game. Wildcats trail it by 3 touchdowns. Biegert back into the game, splits wide to the right. Bryant hands under center. Tureen and Fiala and Bates in the backfield. The pitch, the fake pitch. Here's Bryant running to his right. He throws it out there. And a pass interference, no call because the ball was tipped. The ball sails incomplete. Matt Gideon had Doug Biegert wrapped up. I thought they were going to call pass interference, but the ball was tipped by the linebacker, and that negates all pass interference calls. As we all Wildcats, this is a big play, Marty, to say the least.
This well could be the play of the ball game. One thing Dan Bryant does so darn well is carry out the fake. I tell you, that play, I thought he pitched the football.
Bryant splits his team out, a man to the right and a man to the left, rolling back to pass. He's got a man out there. It's Lance Fiala. He's got the ball at the 40-yard line, down to the 35. Inside the 35-yard line goes Lance Fiala. 1st down and 10 for Geneva. They stay alive.
Big play there by the Geneva Wildcats. Dan Bryant kept his composure under a little bit of a rush. Delivers it out there to Fiala. Fiala turns it upfield, makes a big play.
Spot the ball at the 34 of Wood River. Geneva with something going here. With 7:46 left to play in the game. They trail at 28-7 behind a very powerful Wood River team. Dan Bryant hands under center. Turns, gives it off to Bates, running up the middle. He's across the 30 to the 25. Down close to the 20-yard line goes James Bates. Another 1st down carry for the Geneva Wildcats. One of Wood River. Another 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 7:33 now remain in this game. It's Geneva and Wood River. Jim Tibbles and Marty Winters, good to have you with us with high school football on the mix. Bryant with hands under center. 2 men split wide to the left. That's Biegert and Tureen. The handoff goes to Bates. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Not much doing there. As Mike Scriven couldn't quite make the block, and he knows it. He's mad at himself. No gain on the play, bringing up a 2nd down and 10 for Geneva.
this thing far from being over. Wildcats can punch one in here quick, get the football back on an onside kick. Hey, stranger things have happened.
Geneva has a good special team, especially on the kickoff. We'll see what happens. Let's get it in first. 2nd and 12. They lost a couple on that play. Bryant, hands under center. Steps back to pass. Rolling to his left. He's going to be knocked down for a sack. Once again, Greg Reel, the 215-pound senior defensive tackle for Wood River, busts in there and knocks Bryant down for a loss on the play. The clock continues to tick. 3rd down now and 19 to go. The ball way back at the 32.5-yard line of Wood River. Geneva now, once they get something going, Wood River just stops them as they did that time. 6-13, 6-12, 6-11. Geneva trails it by 3 touchdowns. They need to punch it in here on a 3rd down and 19 from the 33-yard line of Wood River. Bryant with Biggert wide to the right. Turns, gives it off to Tureen. Inside handoff. A couple of tough yards inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line. Goes Dan Tureen well short of the 1st down. A 4th down now. 4th and long for Geneva. Let's see what Danny Malone does. He sends the play in with Ted Stratman. Tureen will come out. Stratman in. 5:40 left to play in this game. 28-7. Wood River leads it. Plenty of time left. Don't get excited, folks. 4th and 17. The biggest play of the game so far. Bigger splits wide left. Stratman wide right. Fiala, Bates, and Dan Bryant in the shotgun. Steps back. And there's flags on the play. What is it this time? These guys are flag happy. False start of Geneva. Give me a break.
Tell you what, those kind of mistakes you hate to see at this point in the season. A game at this magnitude, the Wildcats have been flagged 9 times for 70 yards in penalties. That kills you.
And most of them are dead ball fouls, false starts, encroachments. 4th down at 22. Let's see what the Geneva Wildcats can do now. 5:20 left in the game. 28-7. They trail it. Bryant once again goes to the shotgun position. He's got Stratman to the right and Biggert to the left. Here's the snap. Bryant back to pass, being chased by Reel. He's got Nichols at about the 22-yard line, knocked down there, well short of the 1st down. A flag on the play. We could see a roughing the pass. No, we're going to see a holding. Holding against Geneva. Wood River will decline it, I'm sure. They'll take over. The pass was good. It was well short of the 1st down yardage needed. So Wood River will take over, I'm sure. Decline penalty, 1st down Wood River. They've got the ball now with 5 minutes left to go in the game. Geneva needs a turnover desperately. They trail at 28-7 with 5:01 left to play in the game. The Eagles, 1st and 10. I believe they've got 2 timeouts left. How many does Geneva have, Marty?
2 or 3 timeouts. I'm not sure that they have called a timeout here in the 2nd half. We'll see.
They need to get the ball back. They might have to start using their timeouts. 5 minutes left. The clock runs. Wood River will take their time. They lead it by 3 touchdowns. And they're in no hurry as they take a long time in the huddle. A turnover here would be nice for Geneva. The defense getting fired up. 1st and 10 for Wood River. The ball spotted on the 22-yard line, their own 22. Frost turns, hands off the right side. Joe Horst, a couple of tough yards. Geneva scrapping at the ball. They stop him for about a yard gain. That'll bring up a 2nd and 9. But the clock continues to tick. 4:26, 4:25. 4:24. Geneva desperately needs the ball back. They trail it 28-7. Wood River has possession of the football. A 2nd down and long 9 to go. Very short pickup on 1st down for Wood River. Scott Frost, the All-Stater, brings his team out of the huddle. Hands under center. Turns. He wants to throw, surprisingly so. A pump fake. He goes long. He's got a man down there. Caught at the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. Knocked down by Ted Stratman. As Scott Frost fools everybody. A flag on the play. Let's check it. Holding on Wood River.
Bring it back.
Geneva stays alive.
Just between you and me, Jim Tibbles, I'm wondering why in the world they try the bomb. I guess they want to make old Scotty Frost look a little bit better in the papers come tomorrow, but that is cheap right there. I'm glad it's coming back. Thank you very much, Mr. Official.
First time they've thrown the hanky on Wood River for the holding penalty. They opened their eyes up late in the 4th quarter. Holding against Wood River, negating a long pass from Scott Frost to Matt Gideon. Gideon caught the ball at about the 45-yard line of Geneva, streaked all the way down to the 35. But you're going to call it all the way back as somebody on the offensive line of Wood River was grabbing onto a jersey. Second down and 10, but the clock continues to run at 3:49, 48, 47. Geneva needs the ball back. They trail it by 3 touchdowns. Second and 25, Wood River with the ball deep in a hole. Scotty Frost trying to draw the defense offside. I think he did. They got to call him for the false start, though, because he's shaking his head, Marty.
I tell you, it seems like a lot of times when you have a very, very incredible player, a very good player of high caliber, they kind of protect him. They let him play his football, and it's very, very, very upsetting for me, and I'm sure for Coach Malone that they protect the kid. He's bobbing his head. He's making the movement of his head. It could go either way. They're going to have to whistle that. They may when it comes to the bigger games as we get closer to deciding a champion here in C1.
3:22 left to play in the game. Wood River once again going for the trying to draw the defense offside. Frost gets the handoff, gives it to his running back, short yardage. But I tell you what, Marty, every time Frost goes up there, he shakes that head, makes that motion, and that's false start. That's illegal procedure.
He'll keep doing it. He'll keep doing it until somebody goes ahead and calls it. He's good, but he's not that good.
Back in the action, third down and 20 yards to go. Call it third and about 17, actually. 2:47 left to play in the game. Wood River with possession of the ball at their own 18-yard line. Scotty Frost sends a man in motion. 4 receivers to the right side of him. He wants to drop straight back, steps up to pass the ball, running now to his right, being chased by Opper, out of the pocket, knocked down, short of the first down. Fourth down, Geneva will get the ball back. Interesting, Marty, interesting. 2:23 left to play in the game. The clock is running now. 2:20, 2:19, 2:18, fourth down. Wood River to kick it away, leading by 3 touchdowns. Geneva will get the ball back, and Ted Stratman, a very dangerous receiver. I think Geneva might send all 10 men with only Stratman back to receive it.
John Eberle, I tell you, on that last play, the 160-pound senior really made a great open field tackle on a hard-running Scotty Frost, and hats off to him. Nice play.
1:52 left to play in the game. Let's tack on another 5. If we could, we would. Scotty Frost, taking all the time in the world, might just take the delay of game penalty. He will. Flag on the play. Stop that clock. 1:41 left to play in the game. A 5-yard delay of game penalty against Wood River. With 3 touchdowns, a smart play by Larry Frost, Marty.
You're right. No reason to give them any more time than they actually need. It'd be really nice to see the Geneva Wildcats tack one more on here before the end of the contest, just because this Wood River Eagle squad well could win the state championship in Class C1. But what a great building block for next year. The younger kids have a great future right here in Geneva. So it's really, really important, I think, for Geneva to do something offensively. Maybe tack one more on.
Timeout on the field. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. Back in 30 seconds. Eagles, 1:41 left on the clock. The Eagles lead it 28-7 over Geneva. A fine performance from these Wildcats tonight. Here's the kick from Scott Frost, a high booming kick. Stratman will take the ball at the 35-yard line. Check at the 40. Calling for the fair catch. The clock is stopped with 1:35 left to play in this game. Geneva with one final shot. If they can get a quick one in here, score the touchdown, 2-point conversion, onside kick, another quick one. You want to hope for the best, but with 1:35 left on the clock, that's really working against you. 28-7, Geneva trails it. They have a 1st and 10 now. The ball spotted on their own 40-yard line, or the 40 of Wood River. Check that. Bryant back to pass. He's got Biggert out in the flat. Biggert's got the ball at the 32-yard line. Tackled at the 32. The ball rolled out of bounds, but he was down before that. The clock continues to run, 1:24, 1:23. Marty, I got to think this game's all but over at this point.
Wildcats showing a lot of heart. There's no stopping this Geneva Wildcat squad. They're going to play until the final gun.
Biggert will split wide left. Dan Bryant brings his team out of the huddle. Hands under big Chad Boyce. He turns. Gives it off to James Bates, knocked behind the line of scrimmage, knocked down. This time Joe Horst. And a flag on the play, maybe some roughhousing from somebody downfield. Let's check it. Flag on the play at 1 minute left to play in the game. And I believe one of the Geneva players got called for something out there. a personal foul. Getting a little rough out there at the end of this game.
Frustration right there, and you got to feel for this Geneva Wildcats squad. They have played their hearts out. They have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. They're one of the best teams in Class C1, I guarantee you.
As Danny Malone gathers his troops on the sideline, I'm sure he's going to say, you guys are a great bunch of kids. Played a whale of a ball game. Just wish it could turn out differently. They trail at 28-7 with a minute left to play. As Malone has all of his troops over on the sidelines, a timeout will be called on the field with 1 minute left to play in the game. 28-7, Wood River leads it. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second timeout back after this for squad, and had the breaks gone the other way, I have to wonder if Geneva would be on the other end of that 28-7 score. Here's Dan Bryant throwing deep to Ted Stratman. He's got the ball at the 20-yard line. Incomplete. Incomplete. Ted Stratman had it in his hands. Knocked away at the last second by Tim Zavala of Wood River. A nice defensive play. But Ted Stratman, once again, almost pulled in a beautiful catch. The clock stops with 53 seconds left. 4th and 20 for Geneva. The final play of the regular season, possibly here, or the postseason, rather. Geneva, a fine season, a fine performance in postseason play. A win over North Platte St. Pat's in round 1, a loss to Wood River in round 2. Danny Bryant in the shotgun position. Stands back to throw. Steps up now. He's got Nichols. The ball is knocked away by Scotty Frost. And on the change of possession, Wood River will take over and will most likely run the clock out. They'll have to run one play offensively, and then the clock should run out in this Class C1 high school football playoff game as Danny Malone sends the defense in. A timeout on the field, a timeout by Wood River. And what a rousing round of applause from the Geneva faithful. They really love their team. Ranked in the top 5 all season long. As I mentioned it, the lone loss on the year, the regular season, was to Milford, a Class B powerhouse. Geneva played strong all season long with 9 victories on the season, including the postseason win over North Platte St. Pat's. They're going to lose this one, though, 28-7 to Wood River, as both coaches send in the supporting cast to close out this game. 47 seconds left on the clock. Let's check some of these numbers for Geneva. Steve Bryant in the defensive backfield. Nick Boyce as well. Ryan Schrodlin at the defensive corner. Jared Stockwell in at free safety. Defensive line, Juha Koski, the defensive tackle. Adam Verhage gets in there at defensive end. Let's check some more of these numbers as Coach Danny Malone sends them all in. John Saum at the defensive end position as Wood River lines up all of their second-hand players. Here's the handoff, taken by the quarterback out of the fullback's hands. He's running to his right, gets out there, breaks a couple of tackles. He's running up the sideline. Good yardage as he crosses the 30-yard line. The backup quarterback, Chad Wiles, with some nice running. He's only a freshman in there, a quarterback. He showed some speed on that play, Marty.
He'll be a good one, I'll tell you. Nice to see that. If you're a Wood River fan, that's for darn sure. Scotty's gone. He'll go to the college ranks next year. They've got to have somebody to fill that void.
Out of bounds at the 31-yard line as well. They'll spot it. A first down pickup for Chad Wiles. Timeout on the field. Let's check some more of those players for Geneva. Tony Kimbrough into the game. And Marty.
They do this to you on purpose.
Jarrett Hendrickson also into the game. Now they're going to substitute some more. They're going to send in the first team once again to make sure that Wood River doesn't tack one more on and make it look bad. Also into the game, Tony Kimbrough, I just mentioned him. Schrodlin, let's make sure we get all these supporting players in there. Brett Wetton also in there at the defensive line. And I hope I got most of those kids for you. What a thrill to play in a playoff game in the state of Nebraska, round number 2, especially against Wood River, one of the top teams in the state all season long. Of course, Geneva, one of the top teams as well.
Well, they deserve it. They're the ones that got pounded on at practice each and every night out. They're the future of this Wildcat squad. Give them a couple of minutes. Let's see what they can do.
The first team will come back into the game to prevent any scores. 37 seconds left on the clock. 28-7. Wood River leads it. Chad Wiles still in there at the quarterback for Wood River. He gives it off to the first man through, Jeremy Gowecki. He picks up a couple. 30 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if they run another one. More substitutions for Coach Larry Frost. Can't say enough about this season for the Geneva Wildcats, 9-2. They'll finish up. They could very well finish in the top 5 at the end of the season when the postseason polls come out, because when you lose to Wood River, that's nothing to be ashamed of, especially when you're playing this well. Final play of the game, most likely, the pitch out the right side to the running back, number 27, Troy Harnish. And that's going to be the end of the game. The final score from Geneva, Nebraska, Wood River wins it 28-7 over Geneva, and the Geneva faithful, a standing ovation for their Wildcats, a super season, a super postseason play from these Wildcats. They lose it to Wood River 28-7. Had the breaks gone the other way, the scoreboard could reflect something else, and I have to say that Geneva probably would have come out on the long end of the scoreboard had the breaks gone their way tonight. They just didn't, and Wood River wins it. They move on to the next round, where they'll face either Norfolk Catholic or Battle Creek, who are battling it out right now up north of us, up at Memorial Stadium in Norfolk, Nebraska. That game going on as we speak. But right here, Wood River wins it 28-7 over Geneva. We'll be back with some
farmers. I think most of you will agree that planting is the most important step you take in raising a good crop. So why not get some assurance that your planter will operate properly next spring during planting season with a pre-season inspection? For just pennies and Country Incorporated in Geneva can check your planter over.
Take care. Appreciate your help this
in good
season.
shape so you can have a worry-free planting season next spring. It's Green Country Incorporated.
They're not very, I mean, they're okay.
In Geneva. One of your favorites.
Okay, send it back to us after this one, Lisa. If that's all the spots, that's good, but I'll probably send it back to you for one more 60-second in between during our post-game wrap-up. So we'll do a little bit of post-game, and then I'll send it back to you, get back to us, and we'll wrap things up. Welcome back to Geneva, Nebraska, as the crowd slowly clears out the sideline, the players.